Welcome everyone to Comic Book ASM Artist. We're doing our weekly Thursday Hangout live stream. Just your standard Q&A. Nothing crazy going on this time. So I'll just wait for you guys to filter in for a little bit. When you come in, just let me know whatever comments or questions, anything like that you might have. So welcome. Are you all? I see some people coming in. Let me see your lovely comments. Hey, Keem, how are you doing? You're right on time today. That's good. We don't have any technical difficulties because I'm going from the phone instead of the Surface. So I'm doing well. I'm really excited about tomorrow. So it's a payday for me tomorrow. We have the brand new Spider-Man game comes out for the PS4 tomorrow. Picking up all my books, so kind of everything is just right on the surface. It turns out that the money from the Indiegogo, they say it's within the week starting the 7th. Tomorrow's the 7th, but the funds actually won't be in my account probably the 13th or the 14th. But once I get those, then I can start ordering the second round of books. And the main thing I've been waiting for is the T-shirt orders because those are much more difficult to print than the books. So I know that's where a lot of people are right now. I'm so surprised that that game is a PS4 exclusive. Like, that's ridiculous to me. But I mean, I guess if I remember correctly, wasn't the first Batman, hello William, wasn't the first Arkham game a PS3 exclusive? I think I remember that. I think the later ones were on the Xbox as well, but the first one I think was just initially on the PlayStation 3, if I remember. And that was whenever I bought my PS3 was because that game came out for it too. So yeah. How are you doing, William? You guys have any exciting news or anything you want to tell me at all there? Y'all just popping in. Doing good. I'm glad to hear that, William. That's great. Yeah, I'm gonna start using these guys since I got them last week. I'm definitely gonna use them for these streams, and then too, my 10-year-old was like, "Hey, you can do PS4 streams now," and I had no clue that I could do that. So I've actually linked up my YouTube account on my PS4, so I'll be doing ASMR game playthroughs for the new Spider-Man game too. So, oh, okay, yeah, I think it was for the first one that they did. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a playthrough of the new Spider-Man game. I don't know if I'll do it within the story for it or not because I'll have to keep the volume low on it so that it's like relaxing. But I know I'll turn on captions and all that good stuff. But I don't want to miss out on like the music and that's part of it too. So I don't know. I'm contemplating that doing the story. I think I probably will end up just doing that because I hardly have enough time as it is. But for that game, it looks great, and I will make time to play that game. So, but yeah, I guess we're like 4 or 5 minutes in here, so I can talk a little bit about. Biggest thing that happened to me was last Sunday. I had a friend sporadically ask me if I wanted to go to PAX, so I was able to go to PAX on Sunday. We got there like in the middle of the day, so we didn't get to do a ton of stuff, but we were able to get a few things and see stuff. We didn't queue up for any games since it was already around noon or 1 o'clock. Um, Let me look at Keem's comment. Yeah, that'll be interesting. The new Watchmen TV show that HBO is working on. But he's weird. He said he doesn't want to use the comics as source material, but he wants to remain respectful to them. So I don't know how that's gonna work out because it's a pretty contained story, but it'll be interesting to see what he does. So yeah, we got there and everything was pretty well like, hey, you want to play in the Nintendo area? It's gonna be like a 3 hour wait. You want to, play with what? Everything was more or less like you needed to wait a couple hours to play anything. And I had my kid with me too, my 10-year-old. And so we just decided to walk the floor as opposed to playing any demos because the way we saw it, pretty much the stuff we were really interested in was stuff that was coming out like in a month or with the case of Spider-Man a week and stuff. So we were just like, nah, we'll just walk around and see what's going on. So we got some swag items. We got for the Hitman 2 booth, they had these nice little fish bangers. So really random. They have a little Hitman logo on the side of them here.
They're called silver salmon.
Yeah, these are silver salmon apparently, as my father-in-law educated my youngest son about them. So really random. They came as a set though, because you're supposed to bang them together. And then we got for signing up for yeah, for signing up for Club Nintendo, we got a Nintendo Rally towel. So that was fun, and we had to like run to a window because the internet reception was horrible. So, but we were able to hop on there and get the nice little towel. Yeah, the wait they had they're going good. Thank you, Boiler Gamer. There was I think it was like a 2 or 3 hour wait to do Nintendo, but if you did do the Nintendo booth, then if you played 6 games, they gave you like a Nintendo Switch like cinch bag, but like I said, we didn't want to wait around, so we missed out on that. And then we got, I might do a reading of this or a more detailed thing. They had like a Spider-Man Daily Bugle newspaper promoting the game. And, it fits right into the channel, so I am contemplating doing a reading of it. But it's not bad. I mean, it's about maybe 8 pages or so. Oh, I just ripped it. But I have 2 of them, so it's okay. But it's not super detailed, but there is some stuff to read on it. I know, I'm excited for that Venom. Yeah, no! Yeah, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. So long as I can still read everything on the paper, then we're in good shape. But I guess in the press kits, people were getting these with some other things. I don't want to really show off too much more of this paper, but so it's really large and unwieldy, and I don't want to rip more of it by accident. But what I've seen of the game, I've just seen some movie footage. I haven't seen really any gameplay or anything, so I'm going to be pretty well surprised by it. Then, of course, we have the lovely PAX program, drawn by the Penny Arcade artist here, Mike Krahulik. And what's nice, too, is 2 years ago, I got to give Mike and Jerry, they're the creators of Penny Arcade, I gave them portraits that I drew of them, and on the back I wrote a note that said, "One day the bull will be a thing." And at this past convention, I actually saw Mike walking with his wife, and I had my little store folio with a couple copies of the bull in there to hand them. So I was like, "Hey, I'm sure you don't remember me, but 2 years ago I drew these pictures of you and wrote a note about this, and I just want to let you know I finished it." So I gave both Mike and Jerry a copy of the bull. So that was pretty cool, and that was something I wasn't sure if I was going to even be able to pull off. So, but I literally just bumped into him and was able to give him those. So it was really neat. And then this thing right here is, yeah, that is really neat. But the program is just pretty much your standard. It kind of tells you about all the different things on the show here. They have it kind of modeled after like a Mario background. Trying to see here's a pretty fair representation there with the little wiggly mountains and stuff. And Nintendo has done a few projects with them, so I would not be surprised if they were totally 100% okay with them using their design for their program. So the cool thing too is on the Sunday they have something they do every year, and it's also a show on their YouTube channel. It's called Acquisitions Incorporated. It's like a live playing of Dungeons and Dragons with Mike and Jerry, and I'm blanking on everyone else right now, but there's always a great crew of people here. So you can go on their Twitch and also YouTube on Penny Arcade's YouTube, and it's like a weekly show they do. So it usually runs for like 2 or 3 hours or so, and they just have a lot of fun and tell stories. There's Patrick Rothfuss was there. I'm always blanking. Oh, I think it's Chris Perkins is the name of the dungeon master that they always have. And then, of course, I got my obligatory pack shirt. And this one I got 2X because last year I got a 1X and it shrunk and didn't fit me after a month. So this one is notably bigger, so hopefully it will not shrink. So I may check out your chat here on Netflix. I think it is. There's a pretty interesting Masters of the, there's a Masters of the Universe documentary. Nice. Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy things on Netflix when you dig around a bit. Ooh boy. Almost knocked over a water. Go on with those. And then I also got this little guy from the Binding of Isaac. He was a little freebie. I don't know if you can see angle of him there. We got like 4 of them, but the kids have destroyed all of them.
I haven't.
Good for you. But we had like a booklet where they showed all the games, but I don't know where that went either. So not sure. And then my kid also got a little Undertale figurine of Flowey, and it has swappable heads. You can move all those there.
And they have secret ones on bottom.
Yep, there's a couple on the bottom too.
Those are secret.
Evan, can you let me do it, buddy? Here's the other 2 on the bottom. I like this one the most. So, but yeah, they all swap out, and if you like those figurines, where did the little booklet go? You can go to fangamer.com. This is all backwards to you, but fangamer.com is where you can find especially tons of cool merch like this. They have almost every single one of the Undertale figurines is on there. They run for 15 a piece, and then they have like plushes and cool stuff like that as well. Yeah, I really like Undertale. I've watched my kid play it a lot. I haven't personally played it, but I like how there's different endings for it based upon how you choose to play the game. I think that's a really cool concept. So, and the music's really fun. The characters are really fun. There's a lot of interesting things about it. So, on the surface, it doesn't look like much, but as you play it, there's a lot of really cool things about it. So, and I have no clue where that went, but it's okay. And then I found the 2 books or the main one I was talking about last week was, or not last week, but 2 weeks ago. It's the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawing Comics, and they have other books like this too in the series. So, and this one is signed by Freddie Williams II. He recently did the Batman meets the Ninja Turtles stories, and then like the Masters of the Universe one with, I think it's the Justice League, I can't recall. But really interesting. It's kind of complex, but it just kind of gives you a little insight into digitally making books. But they have like 5 or 6 different ones in this series. In the back it shows one of the other ones, but there's even more than this one, but I just saw the page of it, and now it disappeared on me. Mm-hmm. But it's all good. I'm not too worried. Yeah, so here's like the inking one. And again, get the focus better, unfortunately. Here's the penciling one. One of them I never read too. It's a recent one that Jim Lee did. I think it's just called like DC Comics, like Creating Comics. It's kind of like an all-in-one supposed to be, but not really. It's more of like a sampler than anything else. But there's a writing one and a few others as well. So there's a coloring one, and then this is a digital coloring book. I have Hi-Fi Color for comics, and it comes with a little CD to help you work along too with some images for you to color. And I mean, it's pretty step by step, and it talks about everything. So, and it's something I have yet to master, unfortunately, but it is a good resource to have, and it's definitely breaks it down a lot simpler, I think, than this particular DC book. The other DC books I liked more than this one, but this is the only one I have on hand at the moment after everything that happened in my collection previously. So, but yeah, I guess that's really the main stuff that's happened to me this past week. Really, just kind of gearing up for Friday when I get everything. I'm still behind on all of my books. I think I don't even know if I've read anything since from the last time I had a hangout where it was just me from 2 weeks ago. So I have pretty much all the DC Age of Heroes books to read here. I saw a question here. Do you follow any colors here on YouTube? I don't. Not off the top of my head. I know that Kyle Ritter, I'm subscribed to him, but he doesn't do a ton of videos. He is the colorist for Cyberfrog. But yeah, I haven't really seen a lot of them. I know of a few. I can't like off the top of my head really pull from anyone, and I'm definitely not sub to anyone other than Kyle. So yeah, I'm a pretty blank slate when it comes. Oh, you're 3 weeks behind. Oh no. Yeah, I'm still behind on everything here, and then I still have my other stuff. I have my smaller stack of my like turtles and all that. So, ooh, I just banged my mic. Sorry about that, guys. K. Michael Russell. I will look them up for sure, William. Thank you. So, but yeah, I mean, everything's been pretty well quiet. I'm still waiting to get my money to get my books off to you guys. Also, too, even though the campaign has wrapped, since the goal was just 500, since it met its goal, it gets to stay in the in-demand store. And so that means right now you still have time to go in there and get a copy of the bull and help bump that number. I don't know if you guys saw last week, we had Gary Shipman come in and he drew a picture of the bull. And we're going to be doing a 5-print giveaway with that, as well as one colored head sketch from me. If we can get $2,000 on the bull. So we still have that stretch goal. So long as that book is on the store and we keep raising the money on there, I'll continue to count it and push towards 2,000. And if we get on I think I'm going to do every 1,000 after that. I will do another head sketch too. So, not sure about the prints since that's a partnership with Gary. I'm still going to personally make those prints. But since that's an image he drew, I don't want to, milk it dry and take advantage. It was a really nice thing of him to do. And I want to respect him as an artist and not, capitalize on the nice thing he did. So, super appreciative because I mean, for me to draw him on the level that Gary drew him, I know I definitely have some work I need to do professionally. So, but it's just really cool to see him look like that. So, but everyone who's seen it has really responded positively to it. I think this could be a really big thing, but of course, the book only grows if there's fans and if it's shared around and supported by other people. So it's all about how well you guys like it and how well you want to share it with others. So I hope you'll enjoy it. But yeah, so yeah, other news, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I know we have Venom coming out soon. I think we still haven't been revealed whether that's going to be PG-13 or R or not. I know my 10-year-old is hoping it's going to be PG-13 because then he'll get to see it if it is. So But so, and that's one thing a lot of people are like, oh, it's supposed to be R, but either way, I'm not really bothered by it. I can definitely sympathize with those who want the darker, more mature stuff, but I don't necessarily need it to be. Has it been confirmed for that, Keen? But I know that's usually the rule of thumb, especially when you're launching a series like you want it to reach many people. Deadpool was really the exception. Ryan Reynolds and everyone, they were really, really, really lobbying for that hard R on it, and it paid off for that franchise. But I don't know necessarily if Venom's got that same type of steam or not. So I'm okay with it if it's PG-13. So I know we got 10 still images for Captain Marvel revealed, so that was cool. We got her in her normal red suit, and that looks good. So, like I said, my biggest concern is the fact they're going to play up the most powerful hero angle, and just kind of she's going to show up and wreck Thanos, which is going to be stupid if she does, because like I said, we've grown and known all the other characters over 10 years. For her to just show up and wreck everything would not be too cool. Like I'm all for strong characters and all that, but if she just shows up and blows the credibility of the rest of the team by like one punching Thanos, I'm gonna be pretty unhappy. So, but I mean, I won't be alone in that. I don't think either. But it's cool that they have managed to realize her suit from the comic pretty well into the movie though. So glad about that. I'm gonna catch up on your comments here, Keem. Should make the Yeah, and I think that's kind of the consensus with most of the superhero movies. There always seems to be like that hidden director's cut they don't want to mention, and then they're just like, "Oh, surprise! There's actually 20 minutes of footage that's a little too hardcore for the theater." So, exactly, William. We shall see. Yeah, and I mean that's what Thor did, but I mean, like I said, Thor has also we've been with Thor on this journey for several movies too. He didn't just show up on his first outing and destroy Thanos or get close to it. So, but I was glad. Like I'm bummed the fact that like Hulk is not figuring out what's going on with his powers right now. But I'm glad he didn't just repeat what he's done to Loki and stuff too to Thanos. So I really liked that opening fight they had, and you get to see the two big guys like trade blows. I thought that was pretty neat. So. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I think there were bits of the first Thor that were. I think the scene I really liked from the first Thor was when he's pulling the hammer out of the rain. I thought that scene was really cool. I think they borrowed that from the Ultimates comic, if I remember correctly. But I think that's probably the most memorable thing I can think about from that movie. So, but I don't remember anything about Dark World or whatever. So. I am bummed they had I think it's Chris O'Dowd from the IT crowd, and he just had like a random like 10-minute boyfriend scene or something like that in the movie, and like they're having lunch or something. I wish he would be a Marvel character. I don't know what Marvel character they could cast him as, but he's a pretty fun guy. He's one of those kind of humorous everyman comedian actors that I could see them just kind of they got like an Ant-Man spot there with no, I'm blanking on his name too, with Paul Rudd and Chris Pratt with Star-Lord, just kind of putting him at another one of those not your traditional heroes places. But I think he would have fun if he stuck around in the Marvel universe. Yeah, I like Ragnar changed the feel of Thor, killed off every Asgardian. Yeah, I definitely liked the levity that they brought to Ragnarok, and I love Jeff Goldblum, so it was fun seeing him in a Marvel movie. Yeah, and I know a huge part too. I'm a huge Kirby fan, and they had a lot of Kirby designs kind of splattered all over the walls and stuff, and so that was really cool to see nods to that. So hopefully, as we see more stuff from the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe, we will see more nods to him. Because I think he definitely did a lot visually for the Marvel Universe. So to embrace that rather than try to make it darker and more mature or relatable or whatever would be missing out on a vision he had. So, but yeah, I mean, I can just kind of look through what I have, and I think I said I honestly don't think that I have read anything for 2 weeks here. Really strange. I know I've been busy. A lot of work on scripting for the Bull number 2. I guess I'm going to try to do this thing where it comes out every 2 months or so. So that is a piece of my life that I'm working on now. So it's fun. I'm glad I got the first one out, but I'm definitely it's far from over. This is going to be a continuous story that I hope you guys invest in, because there is a long way to go. And what's fun is there's something that happens story-wise in the first one that was just kind of a happy lead-in to something else I figured out. So I'm glad that I decided to go that route. Who do you think will be a Skrull? I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna go with. I mean, well, they're gonna introduce them in this movie, so I guess you have to have some people be shapeshifters. Um, but what's weird is if they reveal people to be shapeshifters, they shapeshift from an original counterpoint. So they really can't use it as an out to say, "Oh, he was Tony Stark the whole time," and then to cast another person from Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man. It still has to visually be Robert Downey Jr. So I think that will be the strangest piece of it if they decide to, wave the hand and do a big curtain reveal of half the roster being Skrulls. Is, oh well, it's still the same actor. Do you want to renew your contract now? I couldn't imagine, and then having them take a different persona, because the Skrulls, they can act different from the original characters too. Their whole thing really is just visually matching the characters. So you can act one way but possess, the look of a character, but have the character behave differently in the rest of the Marvel universe. So that will be interesting. But yeah, I mean, if we're going back to, I'm trying to remember even in the Secret Invasion who was a Skrull. I can't even recall. It was a really I definitely Civil War was the more memorable event. I mean, at the time it was the biggest event. So it is it's hard for me to really pull back a lot from it. And I wonder if they're going to all of Cap's team are Skrulls. Well, I hope not. I'm trying to remember now everyone who's on Cap's team. When we have Scarlet Witch, right? Falcon. Um, who else? Who else is on Cap's team? Peggy Carter, or not Peggy, but is it which Carter is on his team? I forget now. Sharon, rather. Sharon Carter. I don't know. Hawkeye might be Vision. Well, Vision's kind of annihilated at this point. Well, I guess they're going to bring people that though. Black Widow. Well, I mean, I know that they're going to have Black Widow do her own. Oh, thank you, Pewdie. Yeah, I got this last Tuesday. I had a bunch of Amazon gift cards that needed to be spent, so I used them for. Yeah, I'd say Hawkeye is probably a likelihood. I had a bunch of Amazon gift cards sitting around, so I got this, and then I got another camera to hook up to my Pro Surface when I'm doing Hangouts like I was doing with Gary. Because the camera on the Pro Surface is garbage, even though the actual device is really nice. The camera is not spectacular in the least, so. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see how, like, Hawkeye being a Skrull. And I mean, I think we're definitely headed for a Winter Soldier taking over as Cap. I don't think that they're going to overlook that. They really seemed to enjoy what Epting and Brubaker brought to the table with Cap, as most people who've read Captain America. That's one of my favorite runs of all time for Captain America, has been what Steve Epting and Ed Brubaker did to the character. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be a scroll, but I think he's gonna take the mantle from Cap. I think that's gonna happen for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think Hawkeye is gonna come back. I don't know if you guys all know about Hawkeye's history in the books of all the stuff after Secret Invasion and all that. He comes back as another character entirely. So, but and then if I remember, like they have a ship that rolls out that lands or something, and then like at the time, like his wife was dead or whatever, and then she's on the ship and she's in his life again or something. If I remember correctly, I don't remember too much about the dynamics of it, but I think so. Hi Nicholas, how are you doing? But yeah, I think it's Mockingbird. It's got to be people without superpowers. I mean, not necessarily. I think if I remember, scrolls can emulate powers. I mean, we have like the super scroll and all that. Do I like the Flash? I like the character of the Flash, but I'm not well versed in the character. Well, I don't know about that. But yeah, there's been a few flashes. So from what I've read from Rebirth has been interesting. So and I haven't watched any of the CW show. I hear pretty good things about it. And I liked when the actor was at the Ace Comic Con. I got to hear him talk with Kevin Smith, and that was really cool. So he seems like a good guy. Oh, they can't shapeshift. See, and I'm not really keen on the cosmic stuff. So, but they can't shapeshift, huh? But there's only just the one, right? Or is there more than one Super Scroll? Yeah, Barry's pretty cool. I know we're so close to 500. I'm worried if I draw more attention to 500, then we're gonna have more people slip off. Though I don't wanna jinx it. So, but once we get to 500, I'm still giving away that big signed Clayton Crane poster of the Punisher in the War Machine outfit. So yeah, I think that from what I've seen, he seems like he's better than Ezra. So. But yeah, if we get to that 500, we'll do that poster giveaway. But I have to let it marinate a little. I can't be like right at 500 because usually I gain or lose a couple subscribers every week or so. So sometimes, I mean, it's really weird. This past month was good, and then there were moments where it wasn't so great gain wise. So it's really strange. I don't really know the dynamic of it. I mean, I've pretty much been doing what I've been doing, so just trying to figure out how to make it better. I've been trying to do stuff you guys want to see. Of course, if there's more readings and things you guys want to see, all you have to do is let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to meet your needs and pass it off and share it around so we can get more people to look at it because. I've been doing this for almost a year now. The end of September will be 1 year that I've been like faithfully putting out videos every week, and sometimes I don't think I can maintain the everyday thing I'd like to, but for me, like especially with all the activity that's going on in the house with the family and all that, and then working on the books and stuff, like I don't know if I get to do it every day, but I'm trying to maintain. You guys always have your Saturday videos, like the big one. It's either a haul or we have a previews one, and I have two kind of overpassing each other. I did not realize last week was a previews catalog release. So I don't know how I let that slip. So when I do a previews catalog one, that's actually going to be like a week after it's been out. So that's kind of a bummer. But I wasn't aware it was out already. And then I looked in my email from my comic shop where they do their announcements, and they're like, oh, previews clock is this many days. And then I looked and I saw there was a previous one where last week apparently a previews book came out. So I don't know if you'll be getting like two videos like 2 days in a row of like one of the catalog and one of my haul. So, but I got to work on that. Let me check out chat here. Hope you can hear the lovely drilling or whatever is going on up there, but that's okay. It's not an ASMR stream. What superpower would you give Batman? I mean, they already make him so resourceful. It seems like he finds a way to gain powers. I mean, he punched like Darkseid in the face in his Omega Bat suit. So, um, I mean, it seems like they kind of already make him adapt to whatever to rise up to any challenge. So, um, I mean, you could make him invincible. I mean, that would be just fine. But he seems to find ways to make himself invincible for the most part. My favorite superhero, Nicholas, is a tie between Captain America and Batman. And Captain America only wins slightly for my favorite because I was gifted an action figure of 1990. It was my first action figure, the Toy Biz Captain America. I had never gotten any action figures at that point, so that was literally like my first superhero toy. And at the time, there wasn't a ton of Captain America stuff on the shelf, so I was kind of interested and intrigued about the character. Visually, just looked really interesting with the bright colors and everything. So I was like, yeah, I'll stake my claim on this and check this guy out. So what we got? Punisher, Wolverine, and Deadpool are the most violent superheroes. Yeah, I would say definitely for the Marvel side of things. If you're looking at DC, it'd probably easily go to Lobo for violence. So I'm trying to think of other ones maybe, but I don't know. But yeah, I'd say those guys are pretty hardcore. But I like a lot of heroes. There's I'm just really into good stories. So I'm not really so much worried about a character, but I really like a good story. So there's been parts where I've read different heroes just to catch a good story. So oh, cool! Congratulations, William. So I don't know if you guys read this. He says he got an email from a publishing company who's seen his portfolio and asked if you'd be interested in showing a few illustrations and making a coffee table book. So that's pretty cool. It's always nice to have your work seen and then be validated. So congratulations, William. That is awesome. Yeah, and Watchmen's its own thing. So like they're integrating it into the DC universe, but it's really outside of it, and they're just shoehorning it in spite of Alan Moore, really. Hi, Splash. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else. I don't know. I know there's more brutal characters in those Marvel and DC universes, but it's hard to think of them off the top of your head. I mean, you could go to like the splinter off of like X-23 and all that. I don't know if you guys read the X-Force whenever they had like the whole thing after like the Messiah Complex, Messiah War stuff. I think that was with Clayton Crane, and that was pretty crazy. Art Station, I have not heard of that, William. That's cool though. I'll check that up. Never really understood the Watchmen. Yeah, Watchmen is kind of difficult sometimes to understand. What's really cool is if you read the little inserts in each one. I think it's a 12-part series if I remember correctly. But they have like in the back there's like these newspaper clippings and all sorts of other. They're like bonus footage. But if you read that, the story is even better and it makes more sense. So that's what I recommend. But it's kind of hard to do the legwork. Like some people don't want to put the extra time if they're already not enjoying the story as it is. So yeah, Spawn's definitely one, but he is not in the Marvel or DC universe. But yeah, I would totally put him on that list too. Doctor Manhattan could beat Superman, but like Superman is Superman, so yeah, I mean like Doctor Manhattan, he just explode you in a matter of seconds. So if even that, he could do it in a second probably. And I think that's what everyone is so curious about with the whole Doomsday Clock thing is seeing those characters interact in the same space, knowing what we know about them from the Watchmen story. And we've gotten some good moments from them. The last issue was pretty fun, seeing the comedian lay waste to a lot of random Batman villains and stuff like that. So that was interesting. I don't think we really had any like gasp moments in the book. So and then we've had things have kind of gotten muddied a little bit with having like a different Rorschach and stuff, and I don't know, like it's almost like they're not fully committing to what everyone already had in their head, and I think they're doing that to kind of keep it interesting. But at the same time, we're like, why can't we just have those people and they can just explain away, as we always do in comics, make excuses for why it makes sense, because I think we would all be okay with that. So, but I know some of us are still trying to figure out how those characters are in the present day in the DC universe. So, and then it's supposed to take place like in the DC continuity. I guess it's going to be 2 years from now. They were going to say 1 year from now, but then they pushed the timeline out further since it ships once every 2 months instead of once every month. So yeah, Deathstroke's a good one for sure. ArtStation is an online portfolio site for illustrators. Yeah, I'll check that out, William, for sure. Blew up. Well, they already said that. What are they saying now? They're saying, I forget what the heck his name is. His brand new Bendis character. I can't remember the name of him. But I think they're saying he did it for like cleansing or whatever. And then supposedly like Superman's dad somehow watched the explosion from afar and all this random stuff. So I don't know. They're trying to rewrite stuff to make it interesting, but it's more confusing than it is interesting. So that's okay, Keen. They need to make a Teen Titan movie. Well, they've got that Teen Titan series coming out. I don't know why they feel the need to make it like that. I don't know of anyone who's 100% on board for the Teen Titans movie. Or the Teen Titans series, rather. Hope they don't mess with Superman's... Well, I mean, they kind of already are. And I mean, as long as Bendis gets on the book, he kind of continues to do these random... Like the book will make sense for about 18 pages, and then the last 2 pages they're like, "Oh, surprise! We're all in the Phantom Zone." Like what? So I don't know. So edgy, Starfire looks strange. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if anyone is excited for that Teen Titans series. And that's the thing, William. I was a pretty large Marvel fan, and then pretty much right around the Marvel Now stuff, when they're like, "Hey, let's change everyone," like they totally lost me. I'm just like, "Oh, this is such a great jumping on point for new readers," or I'm like, "Or this is a great jumping off point for people who have been faithful to you guys for years, and you're just spitting all over everything." So. But now they're kind of resetting things a bit, so I am throwing cash their way in support of them resetting things. So, with having Tony Stark be Iron Man again, and Hulk being Bruce Banner, and, just different things like that. And Thor taking the role again, even though technically now he's not worthy still, which is crazy to me, but so we'll see what happens with it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want either company to go out of business. I wouldn't like there to be no DC and Marvel constants on the landscape. I would always like to see those books in shops, but I don't know. They need to be more careful and listen to their fans. Like you can test out a story idea, but don't stick to it for like 2 years and literally have no one come on the book and use the whole "if you don't like it, don't read it" trope, because people listen to you when you do that, and they won't come back. So you literally lose hundreds of readers. So Young Justice will be better. I think you're talking about the cartoon. And for me, if you go back, Keem, check out Todd Knock in Peter David's Young Justice comic. It was around 54 issues, and it was one of my favorite comics growing up as a kid. I think I was in sixth grade or something when it came out, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. So I never really likes the cartoon a lot, but if you check out those older comics from around '96 and see if you like those, because they have a lot of really fun stuff in there too. Yeah, they're always renumbering stuff, and that's the thing. Back in the day, they never renumbered stuff. At the time when I was a kid, the only stuff that would do renumberings was like that were like Archie comics and Harvey comics, and for me, that's why I never picked up anything from those guys, because every time I turned around, they're like, "Oh, it's a new number one Flintstones." Even though I liked Flintstones and stuff, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not picking this up because I just know it's gonna renumber itself in 4 issues or 10 issues or whatever." So I think there's something cool about having that big number. It's showing the history in the series, and yeah, that scares some people off, but I think more often than not, more people want to be invested in that and do the legwork and read the backstories. So it tends to force a lot of stuff into books rather than telling good stories. Which, yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's where a lot of people are at. Teen Titans early is good series. Yes, it was. Yeah. So we're all caught up on our comments here. Yeah, and I would show you, like, it's buried. Well, technically it's not, I guess. I have the number one here. I keep my most prized books by my bedside in case anything happens, like a house fire or whatever. I can literally pull my stuff out as we go out of the house. So, yeah, it's right here. So this is Young Justice number one, and then it's signed by Todd Knock there. And then I have my image signed by a lot of people, most everyone except for Mark Silvestri and Jim Valentino. I have Todd McFarlane's signature, Wills Portaccio, Eric Larson, Alex Gardner, and then I have Jim Lee on the X-Men book. And then I have Eric Larson's there. Chris Burnham's. And James Tynion on that. Hold on. Kyle Higgins. Yeah. Well, I've already lost all my stuff once. Like, I want to make sure I at least have my favorite stuff out. Gail Simone. And, like, a lot of these guys, like, I don't agree with, like, their political stuff they're pulling right now, but, I mean, I'll still gladly get a signature on a book I enjoyed, even if I don't agree with them personally, so this is Scott Snyder and Glapion, the inker there. Sam Maseo. Mitch Gerards. There's my Deadpool first appearance. There's my Jim Lee picture he drew for me. I asked him nicely. And there's the X-Men signature and the Chris Claremont. Michael and Laura Allred. No, I don't have any original pages. I do have a commission from Bruce Timm of Batman, and then I have a commission from Todd Knock of Impulse from Young Justice. And then Ed Brubaker there. And I have more too, but these are like my favorite signatures, I guess. So nothing's been CGC'd or whatever, but it's okay. With Black Label Batman, do you think he will kill? Because I don't want another Batman that kills. I mean, the premise is looking pretty hardcore, and I believe the setup for it is, did Batman kill the Joker? So I don't know. And then was that one where they showed him with all the guns and stuff too, or is that another one that they're working on? I can't recall. Yeah, original pages. I mean, I'd love to own some original pages, but those are usually several hundred, and those are the ones that are affordable. So, but every now and then, I might get one, but definitely nothing at the moment on the horizon. So, but a guy I really like is, who is it? Patrick Gleason. Yeah, he sells originals pretty, I guess, affordable on his site. So you can check him out on Facebook, and there's a link to a store on his profile, I believe. And I really enjoyed the stuff that he did on his work on Batman Robin and his current Superman work he did too, where they had the whole father-son dynamic. So I just really like that aspect of the books, and that's really where I'm at, with my own kids. So yeah, I mean, Black Label is like just mature DC. I guess you could call it Elseworlds, but I mean that really is something they haven't utilized in a while. So, have you heard about Batwoman coming on the CW universe? I have heard that. Yes, they're trying to build up a Justice League story. Are you talking about Oh, or you mean on the CW PD? I've got the original Men in Black page. Nice. And I've never actually even read the Men in Black comic. I know that it was a comic, but I've never read it. So I would just, in general, be interested in reading that original comic. So that's cool that you actually have a page from it. That's awesome. So I guess my question for you is, how faithful is the movie to the comics? I mean, do the characters match up the characters in the comics at all? I mean, do K and J still look like K and J? I mean, or is it totally different? Or I really enjoyed. I don't know if you guys saw, they had the Men in Black cartoon that came out shortly after the movie, and the people who animated that also animated the Godzilla cartoon, and then they had a Big Guy and Rusty cartoon, and I always really enjoyed those. So but I never got to read. I never got to read the original comic, so that's pretty cool. The rumor is that it will be like Crisis on Infinite. Yeah, that'd be cool. And then from what I hear, they're wrapping up? Oh, it's two white guys. Wow. Well, that's a bummer. I was hoping one of them would match Will Smith. So. But I mean, is it cool, William? I mean, do some of the aliens still look like how they looked in the movie, or was it just using a name and a vague concept that they had? So yeah, I remember back in the day reading in the Wizard magazine that they're like, oh hey, these are all movies based on comic books, and I was like, what? Men in Black is on here, and thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever get like some of the. Well, I mean, I guess they had Superman on Supergirl, so. But they haven't had Batman show up in the CW yet, so. But they have had like Ra's al Ghul and stuff, so. At least in my understanding, I haven't watched any of the CW shows, so. I should probably do that. It's close. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've always been fascinated with like aliens and stuff like that, so that is cool. I don't believe in them, but I like the concept of aliens, and of course like the visual design and all that, and I love the X-Files and all that type of stuff. So that's nice. Oh, they've name dropped him, huh? Well, that's understandable. He's a pretty prevalent name. I've heard too that they're trying to do an actual Alfred. Are they doing an Alfred show or an Alfred movie? Supposed to be Arrow, Supergirl, Superman, Flash, and Batgirl. Sandy told me they flew him to the famous Chinese theater from the screening. William, are you referring to the artist of Men in Black or Bruce Wayne? Or I'm so confused. They even brought up the name Oracle being taken by a girl in Gotham. That's cool. Yeah, I know I have to watch those CW things. There's so many of them now too. That seems like I don't know, there's like 5 different ones or something like that. But for the most part, I've heard good things about them, so I would imagine that they're doing well. Alfred Show is a spin-off of the Gotham show, but it's not the same Alfred, so I'm confused. Yeah, I'm right there with you. So are any of you guys going to be playing the Spider-Man game that comes out at all? Any PlayStation 4 players in the house here? His younger years when he served as a spy. Hi Thomas, how are you doing? Yeah, I know he was. I'm trying to remember the exact name of the group that Alfred was a part of in the early days, but yeah, I know he definitely saw some action. He's just kind of does it all, so which makes sense to be able to take care of Batman. You'd kind of have to share a similar experience. Alfred didn't, don the latex leather and tech and all of that, but from a field perspective, I would imagine Alfred has seen quite a few things. So, but I mean, it's funny. He's definitely a compelling enough character on his own, though. Even though he has no powers or anything, I would totally be 100% sold on on watching a series about him. Another good night. I'm glad to hear it, Thomas.
Daddy, if he leaves these guys too long out of the wrapper, their faces come off.
Yeah. I missed out on the pre-ordering, so I'm upset about that. Definitely gonna buy Spider-Man 4. There are more days. Hold on, Keem. What do you mean there are more days? But yeah, I'm excited about that Spider-Man game because we haven't had a superhero open world game since the Arkham games. So I'm ready. I'm ready to be invested in another one. So, but hopefully I will. It'll be a little spoilery when I'm doing my live streams of them, but I definitely want to play it. And since I have the stuff to do it, I might as well utilize it. So. Oh, I thought he was talking about the bowl. Yeah, no, the bowl is the campaign is technically over, but it is still in the in-demand store. So if you look up the bowl #1 on Indiegogo, or you can click the link in this video, it should take you there. We're gonna leave it up since it met its original goal of 500. It stays in the in-demand store, and so we're still gonna try to get to that 2,000 and get you guys do a drawing of 5 High Llama, of 5 of the 5 Gary Shipman prints of that bull image, as well as a colored head sketch from me. And then for every 1,000 after that, I will do another colored head sketch. But like I said, I'm not sure about the prints because since that is something Gary did for me, I don't want to do a bunch of those and take advantage of a piece that is technically, I mean not technically, it's his. He drew it, so even though he did it as a nice thing for me, I don't want to overstep my bounds and, print a whole ton of them. So, but yeah. All right, Keem, you have a good night. All right, do any of you other guys here have any questions or anything for me or anything you want to share here? All right, if no one has anything else, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. I'll see you guys back here for another live stream next Thursday. Like I said, I'll probably be doing some for the new Spider-Man game coming out. Make sure to watch just my regular videos. Go check out the Indiegogo campaign for the Bull. It's still up. It's in demand store. And you all have a good night. Oh, you remember. What do you remember? Hold on. I've given you the benefit here, Pewdie. What do you remember? What did you remember, Pewdie? Have a good night. You too, William. You too, Thomas. Pewdie, what do you remember? Do you like the Witcher series? They're making a Netflix show on it. Henry Cavill is going to be Geralt. I have never played The Witcher, but I hear it's great. I'm interested in it, and I am interested in Henry Cavill being in it, so that is something I'm definitely going to check out. Thank you so much, Pewdie. All right, everyone, you have a good night, or if you're watching this another time, you have a good day, and take care. Thanks. Bye. Yeah, lock and key too. You're correct. Take care, everyone. Good night.